Well, hello again. It's Karen with the Pokey Dragon. And today I'm going to finish this skull drawing that I did. I'm going to mostly time lapse, but I will talk about a couple things that, you know, come to mind. Some techniques that I use. But mostly I'll probably be pretty quiet. So enjoy. So the colors I've been using are two different types of green. I have grass green in the left, little puka, and the green in the right, and I've mixed the two together to kind of make a more grassy green. Even though the other one says that it's grass green. I'm also using a round paintbrush, nothing special. So for this part, I actually put down some water in this first little bit so that it dilutes the color. And then I went back in on dry, and you can see the difference with a more saturated pigment, how it's a lot darker. It's the same green mix. It's just one was wet and one was dry. It is so smooth. Slow reveal, but I'm using the magenta for the bleeding hearts, and I'm pretty much just going to use it straight from the bottle. I don't do this terribly often because it gets a little too saturated in these smaller areas, but I just kind of wanted to do it this way. So then I just go around and move the color into the various places. And I tilt the page back so that the color is concentrated up at the top, because in the actual flower there's more concentration of color at the top. Do it again? Oh, yeah. So now I've started adding in a little bit of red to get more of a deeper color, and kind of faded that out into the end of the bleeding hearts over there. For the oleander, I just really watered down the magenta. And now I'm just using a purple way off in the corner. I'll get this one day. I'll figure this out. You know, having things in frame, you know, being somewhat professional. But it is not this day. There you go. It's such a cool effect. I could watch it all day. And then I just went in with a spotter brush, very fine tip, to kind of give veins onto some of the leaves. Ooh, brown. I really water it down so that it can get a wash over the entire skull. Makes it, you know, that kind of nice off-white tan kind of color. Next, I get a more saturated brown. I lay down color really dark, and then I lift it up with a dry brush to kind of give a fade into the shadow. For the teethers, I lay down a light layer of brown, I add in some yellow, and then using a dry brush, I lift up the yellow to kind of leave a more tooth-stained kind of color behind. All the way down the bottom of the screen, again. Add the black ink, very, very, very small amount of black ink to the brown, so that the black is very saturated and it will overwhelm any other color. And I just want to layer it on a little bit in short bursts so that the color is not too much. And then I just added red to the brown in order to get this kind of rusty red color for the teeth. Now I'm mixing red and magenta together and watering it down a lot in a little separate vial to do a pink wash for the background. This is really hard to do with these inks because you can see they dry really fast, and it's not like watercolor. Once it dries, it's there to stay. So if you do this, I would recommend maybe doing watercolor for washes. I just didn't feel like it. And also I wanted the colors to be right, so I just kept with the same magenta and red I had been using for the flowers. I wanted it to match the kind of oleander pink with a little bit of difference. So you can see how wrinkled the paper is. If you flip it over once the painting is dry, and then with a damp brush, just kind of dampen the back of the painting. This works for watercolor too. You gotta be really careful though, so it doesn't bleed all the way through and lift your watercolor back up. There are other professional watercolorists who have videos on how to do this, but since the ink is waterproof, it's a lot easier this way. Now I just lay down a paper towel and then I set something very heavy on it for a couple hours. You can see it's a lot flatter. I would recommend maybe leaving it overnight. I only left it for like 3 hours, so it was still a little wet, and so it wrinkled back up once I took the book off. I just go around the outside, around the outside, around the outside with my favorite pen. I swear I have other pens, it's just this is my favorite. But I wanted it to kind of pop out of the page a little bit, out from the background. No, and it's all done. Ready for my close-up. I think it turned out pretty well. I really like it. Colors are nice. So, thank you for watching. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Bye.